there was always these African prostitutes outside of my apartment, and me, Josh, and the drummer would like go and talk to them, just have a good time. And then one time, one of the girls didn't want to go with one of the guys. Was like, no, like they were like harassing her. So then I got in the car and was like, "Where we going, boys?" Like just
sure. For
huh?
real?
Yeah, I got in the car and Josh was laughing his ass, and the guy started driving off to like scare me, and I was like, "I'm not scared. Let's go." I was drunk when this was going down too, so I was like, "Whatever, boys, come on, I'll suck you both off. Let's do it."
So how did it go? What
I
did you
got,
do?
I just like fucked with them, and then I was just like, "Hey, come on, guys, like let's do it." And it was two guys in the front. And they were like, "Oh, what the fuck do we do?" And they didn't speak English, so I was just like, "Come on, like and they were like, and then I just got out of the car. I was like,
Oh my
you
God.
guys are gay, bro. Fuck off." Hello and welcome to the DP podcast. Going to be double penetrating your ears through both ear holes. And today with me, I have a very special guest, someone that I've had the pleasure of traveling overseas with. She's done multiple things, done gigs all around Quebec, Montreal. She's done her own contracts all the way from Abu Dhabi to Morocco. And she's just an all-around cool person. And with me today, I'll just introduce her as Emily because I don't want to butcher her last name. But if she wants to mention it, go right ahead. What's up, Emily? How you been?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just another day in paradise, as they say.
Yeah, you feel good in there, LA?
Man, the weather's been pretty bad right now. It's super hot. But other than that, it's been pretty chill. I mean, everybody's got their mask on and stuff. So we're just trying to deal with that. Probably going to go through another shutdown as far as I know.
Nice vibe.
Nice, chill, uplifting vibes. But Emily, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, because as I introduced you, I said that, you're a singer and, you've done a lot of work. And I mean, what's up with the scene right now in Montreal? How are things over there? Like what's been affected, what hasn't? Because I know you had a residency at a jazz club in Montreal and it got shut down. So, and something that we talked about back in the beginning of this whole thing is like, I'm curious how this is going to affect our livelihoods. And, you were like, I'm curious too. And you saw like, hey, you were directly affected by this. So I'm just curious how that all played out.
Yeah, so it's actually like all closed. We can't do anything. Like there's no music anywhere. Like I heard some people had gigs, like I don't know who these people are, but I think they have gigs like for corporate stuff. They do like little trio and stuff like that. But like nobody got gigs anymore. Like it's completely dead. There's no music in bars because they don't want people to dance. So I'm just staying at home for 4 months now. I didn't sing for like at least 4 months. Maybe I sing a little bit in my room and anything like that, but it's not like I don't do anything now. But yeah, I was working also for a jazz club in Montreal. I worked also as a waitress for 4 years there, and it just shut down, bankruptcy. So I lost the biggest gig that I had. It was like 2 gigs at least per month. So now that COVID got in, it's nowhere to go. I can't go back there anymore. And sorry for my English. It's not
it's
the
okay.
best, but I'm trying my best to communicate well.
Yeah, for all the listeners, she's from Quebec. They speak French out there, so that's her main language. So please forgive her, because Lord knows my French is not good at all.
It's okay, you're already bilingual.
Yeah, right. But so with that hitting everything, because it's funny to me, like you saying, hey, there's people having these corporate gigs, because I'm thinking to myself, like who the heck is going to risk putting all of their corporate people, their managers or people who watch them on top of your regular employees? Why are you going to risk all of this to put everybody in one room and potentially get everybody sick for a 3-piece band? It's just like it's not worth it.
I don't know what kind of gigs they are, but I just see that on Instagram. So maybe it's bullshit.
Right. Now, I did too. I see people doing gigs and I'm like, man, I don't know. I'm like, are you really getting paid for this? Because I'm like, that's the thing. No matter what.
Maybe it's outside gig, like for, I don't know what, but like, I don't know, like events outside.
Yeah.
Little shows for cities.
It has to be free stuff though, because like nobody has money to pay anything.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, but anyways, that's really interesting to hear, because sometimes you see things on social media and like everybody portrays things no matter what country they're in, like, oh, I'm so glad to be here, but it looks like there's nobody there except them, you know?
No, that's true. But you know, I have some friends that started working back as singers, but they just do old folks home, and they
Oh,
do like outside shows
hmm,
for old folks, and they get paid like good money to do that. They put the sound system outside where the balconies are, and the old people stand in the balcony to hear them sing, and he changes fences over the building, and he
that's
does 30
nice.
minutes there, 30 minutes there, where every balcony are each side.
Yeah,
So that's
that's pretty nice, and I mean that's something, but it's not like sustainable. You can't pay the
no,
bills with that,
but
but it's nice. It's cool.
one of my friends, he actually does that at least 2-3 show per week in these times, because I guess old folks are by themselves there, so they have to do some kind of activities for them. They cannot let them stay inside all the time, so they bring like people to do magic shows or singing or just playing an instrument or whatever. And he does that at least 2 to 3 times a week right now in COVID. But normally in life, he could do that like five,
All the
six times
time.
a week, and he got good money from that.
And he does it by himself, just sings and plays, or with a
Yeah, just
group?
solos with some tracks.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
smart then. That's good money. Yeah.
yeah.
But so tell me a little bit, like, just going back to in time, like, about how you got into singing, how you started. Like, when do you remember your first memories of singing? Because I'm a late bloomer when it comes to music, but um whenever I see people who are pretty talented, they're usually pretty early.
Actually, I just always knew that I was gonna sing at some point, but I never really got into paying gigs before 21 years old. Now I'm 28. So before that, I just don't know. I just never thought of any other um, career that I could do. It was the only thing I thought about. You know, I wasn't doing any contests or anything like that. I was just singing by myself at home,
Yeah, for the
watching,
love of it.
yeah, just watching YouTube videos of Christina Aguilera by myself. It's like, oh, hopefully I'll be as good as this when I'm older. But you know, it just went after to CEGEP. It's like a college for music. It's the same as universities or whatever, but it's 3 years before universities that you do, and after you go to university. And I've been to jazz and pop. Singing, whatever they call it.
So wait, so let's start back. So you, like, let's say, when did you start singing? Did you start singing like in a choir? Was it like your family was like, oh, let's put this,
No,
you know?
just by myself at home, like in front of my family. I was doing shows for them at like 4 years old, and my dad was playing guitar, and a friend of my dad also was playing guitar and singing. So he was always trying to learn the songs that we knew, so we could sing with him. And also, when I was young, I was writing like stupid songs that didn't even make any sense, and he was trying to find the chords of the song that I was the melody I had in
Oh,
my
like
head.
the what you were singing, and he's like, let me find the chord. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I remember we did like a little show at home with this song. I still remember that song to this
What
day.
was
And
it about? Was it like
it's
my little, like,
horrible.
little
It's horrible.
star?
It's a mix of French and English together, because I knew some words in English, I think, when I was like 6 or 7. And I was talking about love, but I didn't know much.
Hey, yeah, you're like 7-year-old love. Like, I remember I love this dog so much.
Yeah, kind of.
Or the kid across the street.
Huh?
Or the kid across the street.
No, not that. I wasn't the kind of person to like get a big crush on guys when I was
Mm-hmm.
small or anything like that. I was just like dreaming about it, but I wasn't having anything, you know.
Okay, so you're like trying to like live the fantasy, like, yo, you're very, very imaginative. And that's
Yeah.
something, yeah, even when you're like at your age now, you're still like that kind of like goofy, like imaginative person.
Uh-huh.
But so what were your influences at that time from like four? Because it seems like you came from a more musical family if you had multiple people in your family playing an instrument. So I'm like, what were they listening to? Or did that affect you? Or were you kind of like, nah, I'm cool with this, and what I hear on the radio is cool? Or what was it?
Mm, I don't know. Like my dad was listening a lot to 70s rock, 80s a little bit. My mom too. My mom, she was like a rocker when she was younger. She was, but not rock, but she was like a hippie kind of. She was listening to Beatles and Pink Floyd and stuff like that. So at first, I didn't listen to that kind of music because I thought in my head it was old people stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I started to listen to like the 70s music and I like it really much. But at that time, I don't know who I was listening to. I was listening to very bad music for kids, and I don't know if you know, like, but you know, Spice
Like Baby
Girls.
Shark, if you were born today.
Ah,
Oh, Spice Girls. I was gonna say Baby Shark type stuff.
no. But I was a crazy fan of Spice Girls.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
100%.
Who was your Spice?
I thought I knew all the lyrics, but I didn't know all the lyrics because it was in English and I was like 5. But I was trying to imitate the words and I was like la 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 la.
You're just trying to hit the notes and just speaking gibberish.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And like when it came to like that whole scene, like what was the turning point for you? Because you said, oh, you know, I did these shows. It was never like for money or like you were just like, I'm doing it for fun. So like when was like your first like real gig? And you said, I never really did talent shows, but I'm like, you had to have done gigs. So how old were you when you were like, where someone was like, hey, you know what? I want to hire you, or do you want to do this type of big show or whatever it may be?
I had to say, I think the first paid gig that I had was a friend of mine that got sick and she couldn't do her show at a bar that she was paid
How
for.
old were you at the time? Like,
I was maybe 20.
oh, wow. So that's
Yeah.
pretty late. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't I was singing, but I wasn't get paid to sing at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But at around 20 or 21 I started. But you know, in where I was living in, I wasn't living in Montreal at the time. I moved to Montreal a couple of years ago, but before that I was living in the north area of Montreal, where it's more of a suburb vibe.
A rural area.
There's not much to do. There's not much music gigs that you can have there. Like, I know people that are doing gigs in this area right now, and there's like maybe 4 or 5 bars, and there was no corporate stuff or things like that at that time in this area, because
it's more of like a hobby, like, hey, let's have the family come out and like watch this
but
band or
nobody was doing it as a job there, you know. It was just like, because you're not in a city. It's like if you go maybe to I don't know, like
just a small town.
Yeah, just a very small town. You're not gonna have a lot of opportunity to get paid to work as a singer. So that's the first time that I was paid to sing. I was like probably 20 or something like that. And just at 21, I left the country to do overseas gigs that we did together.
Okay. So before we get to that chapter of your life, so you know, 7, 8, you're like, you know, writing these cute love songs with your dad, and you know, at 20, you're doing your first paid gig. 21, you're going overseas. So, but you had to have been, like you said, you were doing, that was your first paid gig, but you were doing gigs before that. So were you just playing with friends, or was it just like, I'm doing karaoke with friends? Like what were the things you were doing?
Not much. Like I said, I was just by myself when I was doing it. I was in my room singing by myself, practicing song that I'm never going to sing because I don't have any shows. The only shows that I did at the time was in my school and at my teaching
like
school.
A talent show, or
not even really, just for graduation. I was going to sing something, and for the school singing school show at the end of the year, I was doing a show also, but I never did live shows before that. Like, I just started when I went into cégep, like college for music. That's when I started to do like really singing with bands and live performance.
But so why weren't you doing that type of thing?
I was too shy for that. I couldn't imagine myself.
You had stage fright like that, huh? You had just crazy stage fright.
But I wasn't like, it's not stage fright because when I had to sing something in front of people, I was okay. but I was just gonna put myself out there to try to find some place to sing because I wasn't really confident into my singing at the time, you know?
Hmm.
It's just, I'm not gonna make people hear me sing if I'm not that good.
Right. And you had zero training in singing in that time period,
Yeah,
growing up?
I did. Like I had some training for a couple years in teaching school, but for me, I thought I
Like
wasn't that
choir or
good.
private lesson? Like a choir
Private
at school?
lesson.
Oh,
Yeah,
private lesson.
I never did choir
So
before.
your parents were very supportive then, and they were like, "Oh, let's hire a teacher for Emily because we got to
Yeah,
get her skills up to shape."
for a couple of years. Yeah,
Okay.
if they had the money to give me lesson, they would do it. If they didn't, I didn't have any.
Right. That's nice though. That's good of your parents. Like,
Yeah.
so that's when you're like, was that your biggest growing period musically where you really, because you said, oh, then I got into 70s music. So that time period was really where you were growing as a person?
You mean in my teenage years?
Yes.
I don't know.
You're not sure?
No, but I growing as a person. No, I think I was a late bloomer for that. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't. I don't know because I didn't know myself very much because I was kind of too shy to
Were you
share.
very sheltered in your upbringing, like sheltered, or you just like you said? Sorry, finish your thought. Like you were
No,
just
no, no, but you go.
no. I was just saying it. Did you just have a very sheltered upbringing? So it was just kind of like, oh, I don't have like, because for me, I had friends that showed me like Metallica or something, and it's like, oh, now I'm into this, and somebody showed me something else. So I had a bunch of musical friends that were influencing me and showing me all these things. But for you, it was just kind of like a natural, just like, hey, I love singing. I don't give a like, I don't care what it is. I just want to sing type deal.
But I didn't have many friends that was musician also at the time. Like
Mm.
the people that I was hanging out with in school wasn't really the kind of people that uh, are the same to me now. They're all like going in different direction. Nobody was doing any artistic stuff. It was more like let's be popular and get the guys and dress
Typical
like
high school. Yeah.
yeah, so I just did it by myself with YouTube and watching a lot of videos and trying to look for new music to know and like just I don't know. I was just watching a lot of videos, a summer long of videos. I remember when I was 15, I spent all summer in my basement in the dark watching videos and crying over
What?
performance and stuff like that. I was really into emotional stuff and almost emo like.
Damn. That was kind of your emo phase, but just like super soulful singers. You're like, I need this. I feel the pain. I feel the love.
Totally.
That's what's up, man. I dig that. But that's like the thing that hooks you, right? That's like that emotion, that emotional feel. And something that I've talked to in past podcasts is just like, we'll probably get into this when you're playing. I don't know how much it is for singers, and but just when you're locked in with a band and everything's going, you feel that energy that band's projecting as you're singing that song. You're like, damn, that's like a super high.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So when you were 18, you go to college for music, right?
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
then, so how long was the program? 3 years, you said?
It was 3 years. Yeah, it was three
So,
years.
so you went through that for 3 years. You're 21 and you're ready to go on your first overseas contract. So,
It
but
didn't actually go this way though.
yeah, that's what I wanted to get into is like, so how did the process go? Because you were working for a company called, which I think I talked about before, is like this company called L Live. I think that was the first company you worked for, right?
No, I didn't actually go through this.
Really?
It was after I met you in
Okay. Oh, okay. So let's talk about before that then. Let's talk about you going into music school, how that went into the process for that then. How did that all go down?
that didn't went well. Didn't went
Whoa,
well.
okay, how so? Wait. So
You
where are
know,
we starting from? Where in the timeline? From college or from
so
graduation?
I just finished high school. I
Mm-hmm.
was 17. I did an audition to get into the second biggest music school in Montreal area and stuff like that. There was a bigger one called Saint Laurent, but it was a very, very, very jazz. So I didn't know anything about jazz at that time. So I didn't even try to get into that school. So I tried a school that was more like pop jazz. So I get into that. they take 8 or 9 singer per year. So it was kind of really hard to
Exclusive.
get into
Yeah.
because they have a lot of application. So I got into that. And, I'm a singer, so I don't know much about theory and I don't know how you call that in English, but solfège.
It's solfège, yeah.
Okay, so solfège and stuff like that. And it was kind of hard. And we had in total of 2 session per year. So the first session you have to pass it, because if you don't, you get kicked out forever and you can never come back.
Damn, so, they're hardcore over there.
Yeah, they're like, if you fucked up something, you just never come back. And
like we have people like scratching at the bits to be here, and we don't need you if you're not going to put in that effort.
Kind of, but it wasn't like a good school to me. When I think about that time and think about the school, and it was very, very squared. You had to be one type of singer. You had to sing this high and go that way and be like this. And if you're not that, you're not good for our school. So for me, it was kind of too restrictive.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, when you're a musician, you want to be creative, and all of a sudden you're being given these guidelines to shape and form. When it's like, I don't want to sound like what you sound like. I want to sound like Emily.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And you know what? All the singers that I know of that finished this school in particular and had their degrees and everything, they all sound the same.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Do you really want to sing like this? I know you can try to sing a different way and after you get your degrees and get your own voice, but everybody that went out this school, they just all sound the same. So for me, it was kind of, I don't know. It wasn't a good time for me anyway. When I got in school, it was the first time that I had to work to get notes in school, because before it was so easy. High school is just so easy for when you're just, you don't have to work very hard to
just get a passing grade. Yeah,
that's true. So this, and so I had some trouble with the director of singing.
Come on, Emily, you're gonna have to pull your shit together.
I don't know. He didn't like me like at all. I don't know why.
I get it. No, just kidding.
No, but for real, he didn't like me because I asked him a couple times during the session of the first year, like, is there something wrong? Is everything okay? Like, do I need to do something better?
What made him want to do that to you? Like, come up to you and even bring that up?
I don't know. He said I wasn't like there physically, because I was there every day. I didn't miss any.
Like, you weren't there mentally? Like.
Yeah, he said I wasn't clearly there when I was in class with them. So I was like,
was he right? Or was he just like, dude, get out of my business?
No, I think he was just, I think he just didn't like me, by the way. Like, I'll get to that. But, to pass your full grade of singing the first session, you have an exam at the end. And this is the exam that takes maybe 70% of your note,
Damn.
And
okay. Yeah.
You have other little exam that brings your note higher.
But it's only 30%. So it's like.
Yeah, that's right. So I had a good note in my final exam. I had like 70 something, to pass you have to be 60%.
What class was this?
It was general singing.
Oh, okay.
So it's just my individual singing and the final singing thing. I don't know, the big exam that we have to do in singing at each session. So I had something like 70%, 75% or something like that. And then the class that I had with this guy, it was choir. So choir was only 10% of the note. So it wasn't a big note. And what he did is he gave me 33% on my notes for choir to bring my bigger note of 75
Lower.
to 59.
What an ass. Why'd he do that? So he's like right there at failing. Like he was after you.
Yeah, because 33%, you have to suck to have 33%.
Yeah.
Like for real. 33, it's like you wasn't even there at the class, probably, to have 33%.
Mm-hmm.
So you just did it on purpose, definitely. And yeah, to make me have 59, just under the line,
What did you do? Like, why does he just have this this guy's just a dick. Like, why is he, I'm gonna pick Emily. Like, fuck this hoe.
No, I'm not the only ones. That's the thing, because
really
he did that for a couple years with some student that he didn't like, maybe. And I think 3 or 4 years ago, I met a girl in a karaoke randomly, and we started to talk with each other. And she told me that she went to the same school that I went. And we started to talk about this guy.
Mm.
And then she told me we did a petition to remove him from the school. And so many people have signed it that he was out. He's out now. So I wasn't the only one, asking for him to get removed from the school because he was picking on kids to get their notes down.
He kept doing this again and again. It was a recurring action.
Kicked out now.
Yeah, this guy sounds like an ass. Yeah, I'm glad he's out of there.
Yeah.
No,
so
but
anyway, so I failed my first session in school, so I didn't finish
the program.
The program, but I went to another program after that, a little bit further in
a different school.
Yeah, it was a lot more like large and accept full of people and different voices, and so I went
more independent thought.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
more independent thought disguise, or more like ideological thought, but just made into like we're free-minded. But no, I mean that's one of the biggest complaints with like whenever kids graduate out of Berklee College of Music. It's like whenever like a keyboard player comes out, they all solo the same. They all sound the same when they solo. It's really funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, like even like I remember seeing was it Charlie Puth on SNL, and he was like soloing, and he sounded amazing, but like it sounded like a Berklee. Like I'm like, oh yeah, you went to Berklee. It sounds like it.
Wow.
Or even like I have friends that went to Berklee, and they all like also say like, yeah, we're guilty. Like when they're fresh out of school, they all sound a certain type of way. So I mean, definitely when you have that kind of attitude, you have that, because we are like very like communal, like, oh, this is our community. And whenever there's something outside of that comes in, like, oh, Emily has her way of thinking, she's just trying to have fun. And if it runs against what they think, then you're clashing and they want to push you away, and that's a huge issue. And, it's just what we are as humans,
Mm-hmm.
But so what happened when you finished school? Like, were you just doing like, oh, I'm fresh out of music school, let me find overseas contracts? Or were you like, let me try to get like Carnival Cruise, like a cruise ship? What was the plan when you graduated? Because you were 21 or 20 when you graduated?
At that time I actually didn't finish either. The other school also I didn't finish because I got a contract to leave for the first time in overseas gig just before I even had my degree for singing. So I did 1 year in the first school that I talked about, and I did another year in the other school that I went after. So I did only 2 years, and I had a contract to leave right away. I had like a 4 days notice from a guy that I knew from this school. And he just told me, oh, we're looking for a singer to leave to Abu Dhabi, in after tomorrow or something like that. And I just like did, okay, let's go.
Yeah, sounds similar to my situation when I did my first one. But no, continue.
So that's pretty much it. They just told me, I think it was like 4 days before, we're looking for a singer. I think we met once and we practiced like once or twice, and they just give me a ticket, and I just left with people that I didn't know much, actually. So yeah.
Okay. So how long was that first contract, and so it was to Abu Dhabi, but how long was that first contract?
The first contract was 3 months.
Okay. So kind
Yeah.
of oh, sorry. I just wanted to know how long it is, and then just get into like what was that first contract like? Because that's your first contract. You're like, yo, I'm getting paid not just like, oh, 50 or $100 for a gig. I'm actually getting some real cash in my pocket. And you're like, I'm assuming you're probably a little excited, and you're like, yo, let me get this passport thing, let's go. And then you're
Yeah.
flying with these people you don't know. And what was that like? What was like? Were the hotel rooms cool? How was it when you got to the venue? Like, how was the sound? How was the band? What's up? Like,
Yeah.
something I've talked about is, when you're on those gigs, you drink a lot and a lot of crazy shit goes down. So what's up with the first contract? The
Definitely.
Emily at 21, ready to take on the world. We in Abu Dhabi. What's good?
Yeah. So actually, it was kind of a horrible contract to start with, because
Sounds like a good start to me.
Yeah, like I said before, that we had one rehearsal before we leave with almost everybody from the bed, because almost everybody was from the area, so we could meet once.
Quick question: how many sets were you guys doing, and what was the club? Because I know some of the clubs in Abu Dhabi, so I'm curious.
Oh my God, it was warehouse, Marina warehouse, or something like that, but it doesn't exist anymore. It's
Okay.
exchange club now.
Yeah, your boy Jesse worked there.
Yeah, Jesse was in my band.
Yeah, man, I went and visited him. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I talked to him. I don't know if we get along anymore. I don't know.
But Jesse was also his first gig when
Oh, yeah?
I was in my first gig. So we were both actually all the band. It was our first gig, so it was kind of a bad idea. But so we didn't know nothing about anything there.
Yeah.
We didn't know how things work.
Were you the youngest band member?
No, I think the guy singer was illegal, because technically he wasn't supposed to work because he was 20 years old.
That's how it was for me too. Yeah, that's happened to me.
You're not supposed to talk about it. They're not gonna ask for IDs and stuff, but technically you're not supposed to work there if you're not 21.
Same.
But
anyway,
hey,
they pay the government, so
huh?
They pay the government off to let people in, and they don't care.
We didn't have any work visas.
Mm-hmm.
We had like visitors visa, so we weren't even allowed to make money there, so it was all sketchy. To first start of it was already sketchy as a gig, because we didn't have any work visas, so we had to lie at the airport to say what we're going to do. So I was already stressed about that. Like, I'm going across the country, I'm 21 years old, I was still living at my parents' house before, so I don't know anything about nothing, and you're just shipping me to Middle East as a woman, and I don't know my people there. I don't know, even with my band, they were kind of older, except the guy that was younger than me that I knew.
And English is your second language, which they barely speak over there, which fuck, man.
Yeah, that was kind of stressful, but at the same time I was ready to go for an adventure. It started actually, that's the thing I forgot before. So we said earlier that we have a rehearsal before we leave. Mm-hmm. And we had a drummer that came in, never did any gigs in his life, like, I think.
Who the hell set this thing up?
I don't know. So we have the booker that came in to listen to a couple songs to see if it was okay, blah blah blah. So we started a song that was kind of country vibe. So when they play drum in reverse beat, tum tak tum tak tum.
Yeah, the upbeats.
Yeah. So he was doing this, but the other way around.
Oh, so, Jesus Christ! So it's just sounding like a regular drum beat type thing.
First song, it's a simple beat, and he was doing the opposite. And I was in my head like this, like, oh my God, what am I getting into? This guy doesn't even know how to play drums. So I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna get this gig. They're gonna ship us home like real fast. It's impossible that they will allow this to go like in Abu Dhabi. So the booker, after this song, he stood up. He was like, guys, I think we're not gonna make it there. And I'm like, yeah, for sure. He sucked. Like, we can't do that. That's impossible. He says, you're too good for them.
Damn.
I was
Bro.
like, are you crazy? Like, in my head, I couldn't believe what he just said, because it was clearly a joke. I don't know, but maybe he just wanted to give us some confidence, or I don't know. But he was just, you're great. It was awesome. So let's get in the plane tomorrow. Like, okay, cool. Let's go in the plane tomorrow. So anyway, so it starts the gig like this. And it took 1 show and a half that the drummer got kicked out by the bar in Abu Dhabi.
I believe it.
Like, how the hell can you bring me this musician? He wasn't able to finish the set.
Mm-hmm.
He stopped playing drum, literally. It was a War from Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. So he just started to drop the things, and he stopped playing. We did it acoustic because he couldn't even understand what was going on.
Jesus. But
So,
okay, just a quick side note. Something I've talked about is like the fact that when you go overseas, you realize how terrible a lot of these bands are. You know, like, and you know, something I was talking about with the podcast with Josh was like, you know, you have bands from like, I mean, the South African musicians are really good, but you get like Russians, you get Europeans, you get unfortunately Canadians that come, and they're pretty terrible, like really terrible. And I'm like, bro, how are these people doing these gigs? But people eat it up, you know, and it's like also they're cheap.
no, but the level of musician there is clearly
Subpar.
Lower from any big cities in the US or even in Canada or whatever. Because I feel like, I don't want to say any bad things, but it's just, but there's some really good musicians also, like you said, South African musician. I was like, what are they doing here? Like, they're getting paid half of what we're getting paid for, and they're playing 10 times better than even Filipino bands.
Yeah, some of the Filipino bands are really good. Yeah,
I was like, wow. I heard one thing. So once I got into a bar, and it was a band from Philippines, and they were playing Love on Top from Beyonce in original key, and they have, I think,
in the original key, that's really high.
Wow, 4 or 5 modulation.
That's pretty high. God damn. Okay. Yeah.
And they were doing like one modulation through another. They changed singer, so they have a break singing. But the guy was also doing
Beyonce's parts.
Yeah, but at the end, the last modulation that they did, it was the guy that did it in original key and like full voice.
Yeah, and for the people listening, what a modulation is they go higher in pitch. So it's like, you know, you're singing the song, it's at a certain pitch, right? And then what the band does is they take it up to the next higher pitch, and then the next higher pitch, and the next. So their voice is getting louder and louder, but the notes have to be just as high, so it's getting harder and harder to sing. Yeah, and Love on Top is a hard song to sing in the original key.
Already for a woman, it's so hard to sing. Yeah. I couldn't even sing it myself. And the guy that was there that was singing it until the end. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. And I remember that we talked to them, and they were getting paid something like $900 per month. Yeah.
And they all live together. They have no room, I bet.
And probably bad, like, beds and bad transport and bad food. And I was like, oh my God, like we said, there's so many bad musicians, but they're also really good musicians from all over the world that goes there. But it's their own.
It's just life's not fair, to put it shortly.
Yeah.
But so how was the rest of the contract? So you got rid of the drummer and you got a new drummer who could actually play, right?
Actually, we had the piano player that went on the drum and was doing. He put some tracks in the back.
Drum tracks.
With him playing keys on the tracks before, so he was playing drum and he put the tracks on. So for 2 weeks we had no keyboard player, just a track.
Yeah, and this
And
happens a lot, like in every
yeah,
band. Like
yeah,
that's the thing. It's always good to have a really shitty first gig to prepare you for the future, you know,
100%.
or have a lot of shitty things happen.
Yeah, and
But
so
how
we
was the living situation though? There was it pretty chill?
it was it was like a big villa. So we
Hmm.
had like I think 12 room in this villa. So it was kind of okay. It wasn't the cleanest, but it was more of the food that was horrible there. You know, we were eating like we had a three choice of food every day, and it was the same for 3 months. So we had fried chicken and fries, uh pasta, creamy pasta and fries, and like club sandwich and fries.
So just carbs, 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 and like
Right. So how the hell
unhealthy
are we
carbs.
supposed to how the hell are we supposed to be in good shape and do 6 shows a week
Yeah.
and eat crap that they give us all the time?
Yeah,
Like I
I
was
gained a lot of weight from that kind of stuff too.
yeah, but I thought I was going to lose weight in these kind of
Mhm.
gigs because you do shows all the time and you move a lot. But the kind of food that they were giving us, it was making the opposite of just don't give me fried
Yeah.
chicken every day and I'll be fine.
A little bit to go, just yeah, exactly, a little bit to go forward though. Like when we were in Bahrain, like I was not working, me and Josh weren't working out when we were in Bahrain. You and Jay were, and I know Chris, but you and Jay were definitely working out the most, as I remember. But like all the food there, like it was healthier than what you're explaining, but like the all the broccoli was battered, the everything was battered, everything was just greased up to the gills, you know. So like for example, you were working out a lot, and like I mean, if this sounds bad, it didn't seem like, same with Jay, you know, neither of you looked like you were gaining or losing weight, because it was just like you're eating like the amount of calories you were burning, you were putting in, you know.
Yeah, but also
Because
other
Josh was the biggest he was in Bahrain.
for real,
Yeah, he gained a lot of weight when he was in Bahrain.
it's a thing. People when they go in Bahrain, they gain 10 to 15 pounds. Every
Really?
people that I know of that went and did a gig in Bahrain, because there's nothing to do. You can either go to a restaurant, you can either drink or
Or drink
nothing.
again? Yeah.
Yeah, so you just gain weight and you just don't move. You don't do any exercise except if you go to the gym. So every people that I know that went to Bahrain, they all gain weight. So you just
Yeah.
come to the gig.
Yeah, it does for sure. But sorry, so going back to that Abu Dhabi gig, so that's how the gig was. But I mean, were you practicing? Did you feel like you were getting better? How was like, I know you were playing with Jesse, so like how was the environment with the band? And also like this is your first time out. Were you drinking at the time? Because I know you get, in Abu Dhabi, like our place gave us 2 free drinks to start, and then people will obviously buy you drinks, and it's like, hey, you're a young 21-year-old girl that's singing in the band. It's like there's going to be a lot of creepy 40-year-olds ready to buy you a drink.
Actually, it was kind of special. It's exceptional. Normally, it doesn't happen like that. But in this gig particularly, we couldn't hang out in the crowd. We had to go backstage for the breaks. So we never were able to drink with people with the crowds, and like we didn't get drinks bought from anyone because we had to stay in the little place area that
Yeah.
we were supposed to be, because I think there was a law or maybe somebody got
Yeah, you're
caught
right.
in the last month, so we had to be like I don't know, we had to pay attention.
Yeah, you're 100% right, because that also happened to me when I was in Abu Dhabi. They let us like, oh, we could go out and hang out, and then it was like, oh, the last band did something, so we couldn't do anything. Or
Yeah.
like somebody got in trouble from another club, so then
Mhm.
it was like, oh, you can't accept drinks. So as soon as you said that, it all came
Yeah,
back into my memory. I was like, yeah, you're 100% right. I remember that happening to me in Abu Dhabi as well. Not in
but
Dubai, but definitely in Abu Dhabi.
yeah, that's the thing. I think it was in Abu Dhabi specifically, there was something about that. I know in Bahrain it wasn't like that at all. But we still could drink a little bit. The waitress came into the room every breaks and give us, I think, 2 drinks
Yeah.
per night. But we got our weight. Me and my friend Audrey, we brought some bottles of like big bottles that you put water in. So we just poured gin and vodka till the top. So we just drinking that in between breaks and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because you can still buy alcohol without an ID in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah. We could. We actually bought alcohol in back store at like 3 a.m. with
Yeah, and
some.
I know where Exchange is, and I know there's a store not too far from there that you can buy alcohol from.
I think it was sketchy, kind of. I don't think it was legal
No,
to.
it's all illegal. It's illegal to buy. That's why they give it to you in the black bags, and the taxi drivers are kind of looking at you like,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
But that gig, it wasn't like the nicest gig. It wasn't the best one. It was the first one. We didn't know how to act. We didn't know how to have fun also, because we were all like, it's our first time. We're all kids, and like it wasn't the
Trying to be
best.
conservative and like, oh, I'm not trying to step on anybody's boundaries or get kicked out of the gig type thing.
No, actually everybody was stepping on everybody's boundaries.
Oh
We
shit! How so? What? Who stepped on your boundaries and how? What happened? What's up. Let's get into the nitty gritty. What's some of
actually
the shit that went down?
I was kind of the one in the middle of everything. So I wasn't the one get attacked by, or I wasn't attacking anyone, but people in the band were attacking everyone else. I think Jesse had some trouble with Audrey, with Simon, with Christian, and Christian had trouble with everybody, had trouble with everyone for uh like, stupid stuff like, you shouldn't sing that way, you shouldn't dance that way, you shouldn't play that song, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't drink, you shouldn't. So it was kind of it was high school all over again.
And that's what I hate about those types of gigs. Like when I did my most recent one in China, that one felt the most like high school, and I was warned about it, but it was just like very depressing for me.
100%, yeah, but I don't feel like it's always like that.
No,
But
no.
some specific gigs are kind of.
Yeah, because for me, Abu Dhabi wasn't like that. It's all about the people you're with and the environment that comes with that. Like, because
Makes a
that
big
energy
difference.
attracts each other.
Yeah, totally. It makes a big difference. And we were all lost because we didn't know where we're getting into. So it was always reacting to everything that was happening, and we didn't support each other that much because we didn't support us. I wasn't supporting myself, so I wasn't gonna support everyone else also. So we were like all crazy, and we didn't know how to act at that time. But
Did you feel more
kids that
when you were in our band? Did you feel more supported? Just a quick question. Did you feel more
yeah,
like, yeah? Because
yeah,
I'm like with my band going overseas, because I was with Dev. That my first contract was with Dev, and he was our music director. And the thing he told us, like, the only people that matter are the people on this plane, or what he means is like the band. Like, no matter like if you and me had beef, which I don't. I guess we kind of did at some points, but not really. But like, or me and Chris or whatever, it doesn't matter, because we all got along pretty well. But
yeah.
like, if something were to happen where we didn't like, or Josh and Steven fought a lot, for example. If something were to happen to Steven, Josh would come and help him, and vice versa. Steven would come and help Josh. And we're friends now, like, and even, but it's just when you're in that close proximity, it raises tensions, because it's like you're married.
Yeah, totally. You're there every day. You have breakfast with everyone every day. You have dinner with everyone every day. So you have the show with everyone. You go out with everyone. You hang out when your day off. When it's your day off with everyone, so you're always with each other. So for sure, you're gonna have some, uh, some. I don't know how to say this.
Some tension, I guess.
Some tension, yeah, with everyone. That's for sure.
So,
but
oh, sorry.
yeah,
Go ahead.
no,
Well, I was just gonna ask, like, if you did anything, because like you're really close. I know where you were. Like, you're right there. At least I don't know what because the club changed, but there, your guys' where that hotel was, the pool was super nice. It was like half sand, half grass, and then it was right there next to the beach. Do you remember? And then also you could in Abu Dhabi, like where I was, because I was at the Rami Rose, if you remember what that was. But it was like you could, yeah, that was right next to the beach too. You could ride the bikes, or like one of the big things is like, for like the club I was at when I was exchange, when I went and visited, I didn't see too much, but there probably was more than what I saw. I just wasn't paying attention. A lot of prostitution.
Yeah.
That's something you see a lot of, is a lot of prostitution. Yeah, and something like that I would do is there was always these African prostitutes outside of my apartment, and me, Josh, and the drummer would like go and talk to them, just have a good time. And like one time, like I was just like, trying to like sell them as a joke. It's like, hey, I want to pretend to be your pimp. Like, yeah, sure, okay. And like these guys would come, like this dude came and was like, hey, do you want to buy? Step right up. I got a girl right here. Would you like her? She's like, she's a beautiful girl, you know? And then the guy looks like thought I was a cop or something, like speeds off. And then one time, one of the girls didn't want to go with one of the guys. Was like, no, like they were like harassing her. So then I got in the car and was like, where we going, boys? You know, like just
sure. For real?
Yeah, I got in the car and Josh was laughing his ass, and the guy started driving off to like scare me, and I was like, I'm not scared. Let's go. I was drunk when this was going down too, so I was like, whatever, boys, come on, I'll suck you both off. Let's do it.
So how did it go? What did you do?
I just like fucked with them, and then I was just like, hey, come on, guys, like let's do it. And it was two guys in the front. And they were like, oh, what the fuck do we do? And they didn't speak English, so I was just like, come on, like, you know, and they were like, and then I just got out of the car. I was like, you guys are gay, bro. Fuck off. And the girls were like, whatever. And I remember one time the cops came and like the lights, as soon as the lights came on, you just see all these black women just scatter. Like they all just ran into, like, it was like seeing like a bunch of rats go into the tunnels. It was crazy.
It's crazy how there's so much prostitution there.
Overseas in general.
Yeah, in general. I have to say, like, for me, I didn't even know because I didn't notice. Like, I saw so many girls, but I was like, oh, it's just girls that comes in the club and have a drink, you know? So I talked with a friend of mine and he told me, like, Emily, you know, like here in the bar right now, all the girls that are here, they're alone are prostitute. I'm like,
yep.
What? I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, you see all the girls that are by themselves and there's a couple girls that are with someone. It's like everyone here are prostitute. Like there's no like just normal girls going to bars.
And a lot of them are like contracted to be there, and they have to be there from the start, from the opening of the bar to the close. And they like I was talking about with Indonesia, like, you know, a lot of these women, they would actually complain if we kept playing the same set, and then we'd have to change it because they were tired of hearing the same songs. Yeah. That's how it was in Indonesia for us. And yeah, we'd hear from it. It's like, if these hoes complain, we will hear from.
You have to do
them,
something about it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they the one that make money in the club because people come to get prostitute. They hear you sing, they buy you a drink, they buy drinks for them, for girls, and after they go with them.
Yep. So the band's almost a disguise, you know, for the band is almost a disguise for what's really going down.
Sometimes it is. Like I was in a bar playing and doing some music with the guys, and there was a guy sitting at the table and he just watched us like this, lift up his eye, put his earphones and just listen to his music right in front of us.
Wow.
How much he didn't care about what we were doing. Like we're just a TV.
Yeah.
Him, you know?
He's like, yo, I'm just trying to get my dick wet. Like, y'all get it out of here.
Because there was no girl that night, actually. So maybe that's why.
Oh, well, hey, like, fuck him anyways. What?
Actually, there was one guy once I was singing a song on stage with a microphone. So technically, I'm the singer in the bar, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So just a guy came to me like this, didn't speak much of English, just a couple words, you know? So he just came to me, trying to reach out for my ears to speak to me while I was singing already. So I was like, okay, so what's going on? Like, I'm singing. He's like, you? $200? So he was trying to buy me.
Yeah.
Like,
and you said yes to like $200. Like, I can do it.
No, but for real, I'm singing right now. How can you believe I'm a prostitute?
Yeah.
You know? But it was kind of a weird vibe, weird time.
Well, yeah, you get some, like I said, you get some really amazing people, but most of the people that come in there are just as grimy as the women there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you got done 3 months, and what happens after that? You're like, I'm going back to Montreal, or were you like, did you save up money, or were you like, I spent it all on having fun, like, or what was or did you meet someone when you were there, when you were like, let's stay on a contract? What went down?
Actually, I did make some money with that. I was kind of the responsible one of the group.
Mm-hmm. I've seen people spend money on alcohol, like put all of it in.
But I didn't spend.
I know. Yeah.
As soon as I could get a drink by bought for me, I was taking it. But other than that, I was kind of the responsible one in the group. And so, like I said, I didn't meet much people in that 3 months because, you know, it was my first time. I didn't know how to make friends, maybe that much. So I just went back to Montreal to get a new contract. And I left a couple months after with Silvio, that you
Yeah, with
remember?
Silvio. Yeah, Silvio's cool, except when he drinks. Then he's really
Yeah,
cool.
definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So your first contract in Bahrain, because your second contract in Bahrain was with us. So you did your first contract in Bahrain with L Live. And how does it come? How's the process with L Live? Because I know like they're like, oh, you need to buy certain clothing. You like they're more strict, aren't they?
Actually never get to do a gig with them. I just did like
Oh, sorry, that wasn't L Live. Sorry, that was just with Silvio. But
yeah,
was that with its own separate agent? Like, how did you get with Silvio? Was it the same agent or a different person?
it was also Clinton. I think it was the same that did.
Oh, yeah, Clinton. Yeah, and for those who don't know who are listening, like we've mentioned Clinton before, but he's the guy who basically ran the circuit in the Middle East, in Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. There's some other countries north.
Everything.
Yeah, but everything out there, Clinton is the one that runs the circuit.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so you get to Bahrain and you were playing at Downtown, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of a nice club. I think it was my favorite. Have you
No,
been?
I like. Yeah, remember all the jam nights we did there?
Yeah. So it was kind of chill, you know, more of a jazzy, like a loungy vibe. It wasn't like a party.
Yeah, small stage, like
Yeah.
small like room, and then separately as the bar. It wasn't as big as like some of the other venues.
Yeah. It was definitely my favorite gig of all time, like for the kind of music that we were able to play because it wasn't that much of a top 40 vibe. So we didn't have to do all the Keishas and Katy Perry and all the Lady Gaga stuff. We could do more of a R&B a
Classic
song.
rock,
I'm
whatever.
sorry. Yeah,
Classic rock, yeah.
80s and you know, so it was kind of a good gig with good food and good pool and uh
It's a nice hotel. When you enter the hotel, like it's really, I don't remember the name of the hotel, but it's a nice spot. Like it's cool, man. I dug it.
yeah, it's an intercontinental.
Yeah,
So we have
Intercontinental. Exactly. Yeah, as soon as you said it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was really nice
And
actually.
how was that gig? Was it different? Like, oh, everybody came prepared, or how was that going down? Same shit, different toilet.
No, but you know, you always think that you get like you arrive and you're prepared for whatever it's gonna happen.
Oh, it
But it never
never.
happened the same way. So we had a big situation also in that contract. So we had a guy, I'm not gonna say his name because I'm gonna say a lot of stuff about him. So I don't want
No, go ahead. That's good. Trust me. I'm gonna bring up people that we won't say their name either. Trust me.
but you don't know him. His name is Marc-André Valade. So it's a Quebec people.
Don't bring up. What if he's listening to this?
No, I'm not sure he's even alive right now. So
damn.
Good. So anyway, like I said, he's kind of a crazy person. How do I say that?
Sorry about the background noise.
No, it's okay. He has mental illness for sure. So you know, it happens. I'm not gonna blame him for that.
What instrument did he play in the band?
He was a singer. Yeah, he was a singer. He liked attention a lot.
And oh yeah, that comes to the territory.
He actually, so anyway, so he was kind of alcoholic, probably drinking too much, and you know all the other thing that comes with that. And the last for a couple times he was blacked out drunk on stage. Couldn't even finish the song of the last set, you know, because he was falling on stage, and we had to bring him back to his hotel room. Like, you know, I'll hold the feet and you hold the hands and we bring it in his bed, and you know, so it was kind of
and that's just dead weight you're carrying. Was he a big guy?
It you know, maybe 6 foot. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, decent size.
Yeah. So anyway, so his last night, he did a song that, you know, All of Me from John Legend.
John Legend, yeah.
So it's just piano and vocal, and he was singing so loud in the microphone that he couldn't even hear the piano in the background. So he was slowing down the song and hear him himself sing like long notes.
Yeah, he was God's gift to the vocals that night.
And at the first, even in the he didn't even know the lyrics, so he was creating lyrics as long as the song was going, because he was too drunk to remember the lyrics. And at the end of the song, people clapped like confused or what was going on, because they
just witnessed real art.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, am I supposed to clap, or is it like kind of weird? But people were like clapping like this. So he started a speech. And
what?
He's not.
Why didn't you take the mic away from, like, hey, bro, look, I'm going to take it from here.
At that time, I was like, I'm dropping my own mic to get out of this stage, because I'm so.
Why didn't you turn off his mic? Like, just.
I don't know. It wasn't me. Like, I think Silvio had the
monitor or the
monitor, so he could have done something if he wanted to, but he let it happen. So he was just he did like a speech to thank people that clapped for him for at least 3 minutes. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm so glad that I sing this song for you. We'll be here. So it was like 3 minutes like this. And that night also, we had to bring him back to his room.
Oh, that just comes, yeah.
And at that
did
point,
you charge him like an Uber fee or anything?
We could have.
You should have been like, hey, this is Emily Express.
I'm kind of good with intuition. So I had like a feeling the next day, like, I feel like something's going to happen, but I don't know what's going to happen. So he didn't come to dinner. So I was like, oh yeah, he didn't come to dinner. Like, maybe he's like a shame. He's had shame from last night because he made a fool of himself, So I was like kind of happy that he wasn't at dinner, because he annoys me. So we just got to the gig, and 5 minutes before the gig starts, he's still not there. So I'm like, okay, cool. And inside of me, I was like, I hope he's not gonna show up, because I can't stand him. I couldn't even do a song with him. We had to sing like
that's real hate, man.
I'm giving up on you.
Mm-hmm.
From Christina and
yeah.
Big Girl. So it's like a
what's that name of the
song? So we have to watch each other in the eyes like this.
You wanted to vomit into the mic?
Yes, 100%. I wanted to vomit every time I was singing this song. So I was just hopeful that he wasn't going to show up at the show. So I was like, okay, 1 minute before it starts, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, still not there. We're doing one complete set without him because he's not there. So I'm like, after the break, I had a text from one of my friends that was his boyfriend. And he says, call me when you can. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like,
oh my God, where's the juicy details? Damn, so, you're ready to freaking excommunicate this guy. Like, get him out of here.
Ready. So I call him. I said, what's happening? He's like, he's gone. So I'm like, what? He's gone? Like, I thought he did something bad. I felt bad for 1 second, because I thought maybe like he killed himself. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of, oh my God, I laughed and I did all that things. And he had some trouble, like mental trouble. So I'm like, oh my God. So he just said, because he gave a 20-second pause before he said the other thing. So he said, he's gone. He paused for 20 seconds. So I was freaking out. And he said, he's gone. He went on the plane and went back to Montreal. So he just bought a ticket.
Why do you wait 20 seconds? He's like, I'm going to make her like sit with this. That's crazy. That's just a little psychopathic. Like, hey, it's like, hey, tell Emily I left, but also wait 20 seconds just to fuck with her.
But I don't think he did it on purpose necessarily. Maybe I thought it was 20 seconds, but it was more like 5 or 6 seconds. Mm-hmm. But I just felt bad for like 10 seconds. And after he said to me, he left on the plane. So he just screwed us up. I'm by myself on the gig. Don't have any more singers but me. So we had to finish the show that night. and we tried to reach out for him, but he was.
How much time was left for the contract?
It was just the first month, so we had 4 months. Yeah. But we had some friends that come, Audrey, also the same singer that I was with in the first contract, came to help us to finish the contract. So after that, it went super well, but it just started very harsh with the guys.
Josh just called me.
Can answer?
Nah, I'm not gonna answer. Fuck him. He can wait. He's got a new girlfriend.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
No, sorry. But it was funny. I told him I was doing this podcast with you, and he was like, "Oh, I'm excited to hear this one."
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's gonna be so excited because I don't feel like I'm saying like good long phrases that make sense because I'm translating everything.
Yeah, you're not as coherent as the singer from All of Me doing everything. Like you got to be like that. Your story.
Maybe just a little more coherent.
Yeah, just a little more, oomph.
Yeah.
So, okay. So did anything crazy go down when you were, because on that contract, you could act on Bahrain, you can drink and stuff. And it's like, I know like, hey, you have the, on Sundays, almost every band has a jam. So it's like, and the thing is like, as a guy, when I was there, there wasn't a lot of women to pick from. And so like all the bands were basically intermingling with each other. And, it was just like a very band oriented, like hang. It wasn't like in other contracts, at least for me, it was like, oh, like you would meet people that were regulars and hang out with them and your band kind of does your thing and you go out, but there's so little to do in Bahrain and like taxis are so expensive.
But you met some people in Bahrain, right? Or not much?
Not much.
No.
You mean like people to hang out with or people to sleep with?
No, but hang out and but that's true.
No.
There was a lot of guys.
No, to hang out with, it was all basically the band and like there was
of the bands.
Yeah, like the bands. You basically just hang out with the bands because there were some regulars that came like when we were there. There were some regulars, but it's like we didn't hang out with them outside of the club. They didn't really buy us drinks. It wasn't the same hang. It was a different environment.
Yeah.
At least I don't know how it was for you in downtown, because in downtown it seemed like you had more people coming, while Abrida, where we were at,
nobody was coming to Abrida.
Yeah, it was just like when I was my first month there, when you weren't there, it was like packed all the time, and then it just like started dying out
because of me.
Because of you. Nah, we'll get into when you came though, because it'll be similar to kind of the exchange thing. But anything else you want to add to your first Bahrain trip? No crazy stories? Because I know I've heard some crazy stuff with Silvio that I'll talk about in a second. Not about Silvio, but just like with the band and stuff that went down, because hey, there's a lot of drunk nights.
There's too many drunk nights that I don't even remember, like half of them. But in the first part of the contract, I was kind of also responsible, not drinking too much, going to bed early. As hard as it can be for you to believe, because I was kind of crazier in your contract, but I was kind of quiet and doing my stuff. But at the end of the contract, the last 2 months and a half of the contract, I just started to like, alcohol, I can drink, every night if I want to. So that's when it started to get maybe just a little
out of hand.
I had my birthday also at the end of this contract, and I think it was the craziest week that we had in probably because all the bands were done in Ramadan.
So Ramadan. Yeah.
At the same time. So the last week that we had, everybody was there last week, and it was my birthday also at the same time. So we just party like crazy animals for, I think, 5 days in a row.
Yeah, and that's what happens. I think that's what happened with us in our contract too.
Yeah,
like every contract, the last week is just you get fucked up,
Too much fucked up. And it was, even though if it was my birthday, so people were trying on purpose to get me fucked up. Like I remember they tried to make me have a bullfrog on stage.
Wait, was that your first bullfrog?
No. I had like a couple ones, but maybe just a couple
Yeah.
like once or twice
And
before that.
for people who don't know, a bullfrog is basically like every type of alcohol, at least half the glass, and then the like another third of the glass is Red Bull, and then some blue curacao on top.
Actually, how they do it: 2 ounces of gin, 2 ounces of rum, 2 ounces of vodka, and 2 ounces of tequila. And they put a little bit of lime juice and Red Bull and curacao, like for the color. And it's just only alcohol. Like it's
Yeah,
6 ounces of alcohol straight up.
it's disgusting, and it makes your mouth blue
Not only
or
your
your
mouth.
tongue. Oh, and your pee and everything else. You had blue pee when you drank that shit?
No. It was just, I'm not gonna talk about that right now, but you had some surprises in the next morning. So anyway, so nice bullfrog time. We still sometimes drink bullfrog in Montreal with with the people, with Gabrielle and
Jesus Christ.
Silvio, and we do like parties each one or twice a year, and we buy all the alcohol to do bullfrogs, and we do party bullfrogs. That we have one party, bullfrog party on next Thursday.
Oh wow! And do they all call you champ in the means when that happens?
They still call me champ because
okay, wait. We'll get to why they call you champ, or where the champ thing came from. But Emily got a nickname when we were in Bahrain of champ, but we'll get into that. Sorry. So what were you gonna say though? They still call you champ?
Yeah, but we have a champ replacement
okay.
when I'm not there. So have you met I think you met her, Jeanne.
I mean, you have to see her face.
But she would, when I left, she arrived with the band that was in Barrel.
Oh,
do you know?
Was it the one that was like in the corner, like a very dark, and they had a jam. It was in the corner. Davy Crockett's?
Yeah, that's right.
Davy Crockett's, that's what it was.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Davy Crockett's? No, it's not. You're talking about the diva, right?
Wasn't Davy Crockett's the?
I don't remember.
But I think I know which one. I mean, whatever. But she was the singer.
So yeah, she was a singer.
Was she playing with Heine and Fern, or?
She was playing with she was playing with a guy. Oh, I don't remember. You remember Max?
Yeah, Max, the drummer. Yeah. Oh, that club.
That club.
Which singer? The blonde with the nose, or the?
Yeah, no, the
Chantel. That's Chantel. Then the other. What's the other girl?
Chantal was the blonde one, and Jeanne was the short hair. Because she replaced a girl.
Yeah, I think if I'm pretty sure I saw her, but anyway, so she became the new champ.
So she's champ, the replacement, because when I left, she took my place and she filled it very, very well. She was better than me at everything. So they call her champ now because she's an awesome champ.
That's what's up, just gotta, it's not an easy job. It's not an easy mantle to carry, but someone's got to do it.
I had to take my retirement at some point, but I had to pass the flame to someone else. But
you still have the old trophy right there, picking up a little dust. No, but anyway, so that was basically your that contract with Bahrain. So after that Bahrain contract, you came back to Bahrain and played with us?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so how much time period was there before that? Because we came to Bahrain and our first singer was not you. You were our third singer. And if you want, I can get into what happened with that.
I can't believe you had 3 singers in like 1 month.
Yeah. So it was 2 singers and then you.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, so our singer that we had in Indonesia was not happy with the band because things were going down. She was, not happy with the situation. She said, I want to go back to the US. So we're like, cool, we need a new singer. So our agent said, we got a new singer. That's great. She comes, she's an older woman, and she
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, she's like super like, outdated. Like she'll do like the whole like get down on your knees, like squat and like point at you when she's singing. Like she's like the whole jazz thing, you know. It's like she thinks she's Celine Dion in Vegas. You
But
know,
she
it's
was she good?
no,
Good singer?
no,
No,
nah, nah.
really?
She tried, but no. And you know how she got fired? So, and after like the first week, they're like, we want her out of here, right? And Dev was like, oh man, she's fired. We have to tell her. So Dev was just so like, he was being a baby. He was being a pussy about like telling her to fire. And I was like, man, I'll do it. You remember me back then. I was just more like, fuck you, I'll do it. You know, I'll tell her that she's fired. And Dev was like, no, don't do it. Don't tell her that she's fired. And then like another week passes and she goes to her room and her key's not working. And there's like housekeeping and they're cleaning her room. And she's like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I can't get into my room. It's like, hey, you don't live here anymore. She's like, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, you're fired. And that's how she found out through the housekeeping.
Oh mon dieu. But that's so
Yeah.
sad for her though.
Yeah. And she
You tell her.
messaged Dev like, hey, Dev, I need to talk to you. And I was just like, Dev, you should have told her sooner. So then that's how she leaves the band. And then our agent's like, we got this new singer who was an American Idol. She's an amazing singer. All these things. Like she's the bee's knees. And she comes and she only knows a third of all about that bass. She only knows the first verse. And she was a druggie, and we didn't know this. And on her first week, she gets drunk, dances, does the splits, hurts her knee, and she's like, I can't. Yeah, she's like, I can't sing. So then she like runs up her freaking her what's it called, room service bill up, and then so she's there for a week, already hurt. So then the second week comes. You know, we got paid every 2 weeks. So payday comes, and they're like, hey, we need a band meeting. It's like, so Nola ran up the room service bill $1,000. We owe $1,000 to the club because she didn't get paid that much. So then, you know, Dev had to pay for the child support, and Jay like had to help pay for that because, you know, they were together. You know, everybody had their bills to pay, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm a single dude, and I paid it.
Oh mon dieu.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, I paid it all.
Bill?
Yeah, I paid her bill. And Chris was fucking her. And he didn't step up and pay the bill.
For real?
Yeah.
He didn't have a girlfriend at the time?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
A fiance at the time, yeah.
Because we
man, she molested me. You know that? She molested me and Josh when she came to Bahrain. Were you there when she came to visit?
Yeah.
Yeah, she molested us. Yeah, because we were dancing. Because she was like, "Oh, I want to dance with you. I want to dance with you," and she would grab our dicks.
Wow.
Yeah, and like she grabbed Josh's dick and she wanted to fuck Josh because, you know, they were into that thing. Like Chris, like, you know, like kind of swinging type shit. And she grabbed mine and I didn't do anything. I was just like, yo, I'm good. I stopped talking to her. I was like, I'm good. I didn't really hang out with her like that after that. I was like, I don't even want to hang out and drink because I was like, whoa, man. That was the first time I've had that was the first time I've had someone like grab me, and I was just like, oh my God, I know what it's like to be a woman.
Oh my God. That's intense.
Yeah.
But did
you know, okay, well, I was gonna say something, but I was gonna say, you know, Chris would pee on her.
Huh?
Yeah, you know, like they were into piss play, you know.
On the girl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so they were some nasty, some filthies.
But you know, it's their things.
Huh?
Not my thing.
Oh, so Scott was just telling me we've already at an hour, but we just got to Bahrain, so I think we'll just extend it another half hour so we can just finish up Bahrain and then we'll end it. But we can always do another podcast if you'd like, because I'd love to have you back on. We can continue the story, talk about whatever, because there's so many other things I wanted to talk about that we didn't get to hit. But yeah, it's been a pleasure having you. But anyways, let's continue. So yeah, so we had this thing, everything went down with this Nola, which wasn't even her real name. And so I'm just gonna say Nola because that's not her real name. But so, you know, Dev paid for her plane ticket to leave. Like he really paid out of pocket. He was the one that took the biggest hit and paid for her ticket to come.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I remember when, here's something that you probably don't know, because like every time a new singer comes that's like a female, because, you know, we're getting like all the guys are always like, oh, what do they look like? What do they look like? And Dev's always like, oh, you won't like them, or you like them. When you were coming, Dev was like, I think she's more your type, Daniel. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like I was like confused, like, okay, like, you know, my type. Because when I was in Indonesia, the girls I was with, you know, I was just like, young trying to rack up numbers, you know, not really going for my type, you know, it's just like whatever, because you have so many women thrown at you, you're just like, I'll just take whatever, right?
You worked in relationship also in Indonesia?
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
guys.
No, yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, I was not. That was not good for me. But when I came back from Indonesia, I wanted to break up with her, but she wouldn't let me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like I was like, that's why like after like once I told her that I cheated on her. I told her, but once I told her, I was like, we're done. Like I'm not happy. I don't want to be together. But she's like, we're not breaking up. And I was like, what the fuck? Like I'm still in a relationship, but I'm not in a relationship. You
But
know, so
that's
it's
fucked up though.
yeah, she was a little crazy.
But why did you stay with her still? You could just like cut boundaries.
It pretty much was. That's basically what happened. That's basically what happens. But it was a slow process. Because, you know, when you're young, it's hard to be like that asshole. But even though I'm already being
It's
a
not
huge asshole
asshole.
by fucking cheating.
No, but it's just respecting your boundaries, you know? So you're just like, okay, stop.
Yeah, because I'm already hurting her. So I'm like, look, I'm going to continue to hurt you. So let's end this. You know? But anyways, so like you showed up and you had already been in the contract and we found all this out. So you came into the picture and we're like, dope, this girl can actually sing. She can do everything dope, you know? So how was that experience? How was Bahrain when you showed up, or like, what was the process leading up? Did they call you and they were like, hey, you want to come to Bahrain? Like,
it actually happened similar to their first one. I think they said to me, I think Clinton called me a week before. I think I have something for you, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work. So I'll give you some news soon or whatever. So I think 2 days before he called me back and said, okay, cool, you're leaving in like 3 days. And I just talked to Dev by Skype, I think.
mm-hmm.
For maybe 20 minutes. It was like, okay, you can do this song. No, I think he didn't even give me any songs to do. I just left in the plane without knowing the songs I was gonna sing, who I was gonna be with. I think he didn't give me like, oh no, that's not true. I think we add each other on Facebook or something before I left, or maybe I don't remember. It's been too long. But I just arrived, I think, in the middle of the night, right? Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. Well, I saw you the next day. I think at lunch when you were just walking in. I don't think I saw you that night, did I?
But I remember I went to the club when I arrived. I went straight to the club and you were doing a set, the last set, I think. And I just went by the DJ booth and I think I said hi to Jay, maybe, and maybe Dev and Jay, that I saw them because they stayed on stage and you guys all left because you clearly didn't know me.
Yeah.
So I think I just said hi to Jay and I just went straight to my room.
We probably went to the bar to drink. That's probably what happened.
Maybe, I don't remember. I wasn't there, but I remember I went to my room and I called, Turkey, remember?
Who?
Turkey?
Who's that?
Turkey.
Turkey. Oh yeah, Turkey. Yes.
Remember?
Yes, I remember Turkey.
I called Turkey that night. They just met me in my room, so we talked. And it was a surprise because nobody knew that I was coming back to Bahrain. I didn't say anything to nobody except Turkey that knew that I was coming. So I think I told you guys to not say anything about anyone because I know you met probably a couple of musicians at that time in Bahrain. So I was like, don't say anything. I just want to make like a
surprise
to everybody. And first week, I think the first day off was a Sunday. So I was going to do like a reveal party, like, hello, I'm here, So I think we went to downtown.
Yeah, I remember we were going and you were pretty excited and I was like, huh, oh yeah, that's when we found out that you had been there before and stuff, right?
But I think I told you that I've been there before, no?
No, yeah, you told us before. That's why then when you were telling us about the whole secret and then we went there for the jam and that's when you surprised them.
Yeah, we went to
downtown. and we all played together, right?
We did. I think we did. Yeah,
because I remember we played Treasure by Bruno Mars.
I sang with
Chris, yeah.
Because Jay was in there.
No, Jay and Dev like never came.
Almost. No, but Dev came
a couple times. The first
night Dev came, I think. I'm not sure. But I remember that night was crazy night. I was so drunk because I was so happy to see all the people that I met the year before, and I was like, let's get extremely fucked up. So
Mhm.
I drank like a couple of bullfrogs, and we went to Buffalo.
Yeah,
Oh,
Buffalo.
yeah,
That was the hang. Buffalo was the hang.
Buffalo was totally the hang,
Yeah, and
and
that's
I
where
think
Silvio's band was, your old
you,
band leader. Yeah.
Gabrielle, and April. You remember
Yeah,
April?
April. I wish you didn't say her name because I wanted to tell some stories, but
But you don't know her last name. But I love April actually.
yeah, she's cool. I don't have an issue with her. You came and hung out with her when you were in
Yeah,
LA
that's
too.
the thing.
Yeah,
She was
Josh
really
told me. Yeah, yeah,
close to you when I went to LA a couple years, 2 years ago, and we hanged and we clicked like we understand each other so well that we did the same thing. And she's a really nice girl and she's so funny. But she's a crazy girl also. But she knows.
yeah.
She
But now
knows.
she's a mom. She's settled down. She's cool.
Yeah, that's good for her actually.
Yeah. No, I dig.
But yeah, so with the band in Buffalo, they were all kind of the craziest, I think. Also, what do you
Mhm.
think with stories and stuff like that?
Yeah, no, yeah, they were the craziest. They were the craziest. Like, I think when it like they did the craziest things when it came to like they were drinking and just doing really outlandish shit, but when it came to like doing fun weird shit, I think that was our band.
Yeah, you guys were weird.
Yeah.
I always hear some stories about your band, wait, our band at the time, like some stuff that you did in Indonesia, in China, whatever. I was like,
Wait, you hear stuff that I did?
everybody. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
everybody's talking about everyone's shit and selling stories that they did with each other. I was like, what is going on in this band? It's like a weird, fucked up family.
My band, the band we were in?
Yes, totally. I was hearing some stories about Josh and her girlfriend
Elena at the time, yeah.
at the time, intimate stuff. I was like, I don't want to hear about that. I was hearing, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I was like, okay, I'm just like, feel
What'd you
so.
hear about me? I don't think like you know what's funny? Like when I was gonna do my China gig, like 2 weeks before, they use WeChat in China. So like the keyboard player was like, "Hey man, you were in the band with Josh, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh man, this band's gonna sound so good with you in it." Well, I'm like, "Man, people really know about us like that, right?" And that's what I tried to tell people in a past podcast with Josh. It's like our band was really popular.
Yeah, but you guys were really good in general compared to also the the level of
Yeah,
talent
musicianship.
in general. So maybe that's why people knew you from not like met you before. But also if you're crazy and fun, people are gonna remember you also like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like yeah, because I mean, like I said, like even the story you heard from Abu Dhabi, you were like, "What the hell?" You got in the car with the prostitute. Like, yeah, that's just one night. That's why I ask you, like, "Hey, what did you do?" Because for me, I'm like, I have so many like people getting into fights, having to drag people out, like women saying like acute, like, "Hey, I want to sue you and deport you." Like I've had like in Abu Dhabi, I had those same prostitutes come to, like I had a girlfriend at the time, so I didn't sleep with any of them, but I had a party where all the prostitutes came over and we took pictures and like nobody slept with any of the prostitutes or anything. We were just having a good time and drinking, you know? So it's like, hey, that's just another night. There's so much bullshit that goes down.
But I
Um,
feel I wasn't a part of the crazy stuff myself. I would
well,
just
you
see.
you were always hanging out with your friends. That's what I noticed. You were
Yeah, but
you were always trying to be with them because I understand. Like, hey, you're French Canadian. You want to be with your people, and you also already did a contract. So there was never like nobody was ever like, yo, fuck Emily. If anything, we're always like, hey, do you want to come hang? Like, I don't think we're ever uninviting to you.
no. But I was like, when there was something happen and I had the choice to do whatever. But in general, I just want to at the time hang out with people, whatever they are. So I was doing a thing with them, a thing with you. I was always like
Yeah,
occupied my brain to do something anyway.
yeah.
I wasn't staying in my room much because I wanted to do something.
Oh, I don't think anybody really stayed in their room much. Like
No.
everybody was like, oh, let's go hang at this room, or let's go over here, let's go to the mall across the street, even though we're gonna sweat by the time we get there. because
Mhm.
God, it was so hot. Like I
Oh
remember,
my God. I remember just walking to the mall. It was like 6 minutes walking
not
from
even
the
you could see
hotel.
like it was just across the street,
Yeah,
literally
you
across
just
the
had to
street.
cross under the bridge. And I was like, okay, I'm ready. I have my bottle of water. I'm like, okay, let's go. And walking to make sure because you can't stay outside at 50 degrees Celsius more than 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's too hot. So I just ran to the mall and just like go in the AC and like and drinking my water and stuff. But other than that, I don't remember hanging out too much in rooms and stuff like that. I
No,
think
you
maybe
never really
like
came to rooms. We always went to jams together, or we'd meet up at jams and stuff. But like I
but you
said, I was hanging out with Josh or Chris or even Devin J, and you most of the time like I said, you had more history with the other people, so you would hang out with them. But I mean, there were parties where we would all hang out together, but it would
yeah,
have to be usually with the other band members, like Silvio and stuff would be there, and then you'd be hanging out.
yeah, actually Silvio was my previous band just before I went with
Right.
you. So that's why I knew them a lot and they was like really
Mhm.
good friends to me. But also you guys you knew each other for kind of a long time
Yeah.
too.
Like a
You did
year now by then, yeah. Or you're
yeah,
getting
so
to a year.
you made connection for sure with each other a little bit more that I just arrived. It was like a week, so I'm not gonna have the same connection with
Mhm.
you that you have with
But
each
I mean,
other.
throughout the entire contract, that's pretty much how it kind of stayed.
Huh?
Through the entire contract, that was kind of like, you kind of hung out with them more than us, because everybody kind of had their groups and but we all joined together.
Yeah. At some
Yeah.
point, we were all together. But for sure, I think I hanged out with the Quebec people because I could speak French a little bit. It's not that I don't speak English at all because I understand really well, but I just don't seem to have the same personality when I speak in English as when I speak in French because I cannot say all the words that I want to
You
say.
can't
And
express yourself the same.
it sounds a little simple when I talk in English. So I was like kind of tired of always restricting myself to words sometimes. So that's why I just wanted to get the French out. So I
Yeah.
was
No,
working.
and that's what I said. Like, you want to have that community and stuff. That's why it's like nobody was ever angry about it, or like, just to clear that up. But so like, let's get to the time when we called you Champ, or I called you Champ because I gave you the nickname.
You gave me the nickname and I didn't even know why at that time. So
Honestly, yeah, it was so like at the time, like we were saying, everybody, like band members were kind of sleeping with everybody. I mean, when it came to our band, we didn't really have that many like sleeping type of sexual type stuff going down.
but
But
you guys were all in relationships.
yeah, or the people we did find, it was just not much. Um, but
But that's true.
you were sleeping with a couple of other people in other bands and stuff, and we were, I don't know, me, the whole band, we were all eating like at the lunch in the buffet, and we were just talking about it, and we were like, yeah, like Emily's a champ, she can take it, she knows what's up, she can handle it. And then as we're talking about you start walking down to go grab some food, and then I go, hey champ, and you turn around, and then that's when that's it, you're champ.
I didn't even know that. I actually don't remember
And
because
then
you
we had a long talk too, like, and then we talked about like a little bit about you. Like Josh recorded the whole conversation. I have it on my old phone somewhere. So I don't know if I could send it to you, but it's like a 12-minute long video.
about what?
Just like us talking. It was like right after when we called you champ. I haven't even watched the whole video in like since we recorded it.
I didn't even know about that. But we
Yeah.
were talking about like why you call me champs.
Yeah, just champ. You talked about like a bunch of stuff. But yeah, we just talked about that. But like, yeah, so we were just, yeah, I mean, you were just like getting drunk and I guess sleeping around with a couple of guys, but there really wasn't that many guys to choose from either.
No, definitely. And actually for me it wasn't, uh to be 100% honest, I was kind of in a breakup when I came back to Bahrain.
Mhm.
I just had my heart broken, sadly as it sounds, when I left Bahrain for the first time. So when I came back, I was just trying to cope with the fact that I was sad all the time. So that's why I just
Trying to fill the void with alcohol and stuff.
but some male attention to compensate. It's not really healthy to think like that, but at the time it was my way of coping with emotional
Right. Yeah, distress.
yeah.
Yeah. No, but I remember you. I think that's actually in the video. I think you did talk about your ex in that, but I remember you mentioning that before.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, man, what else is there to talk about Bahrain? Because I just remember, stories of, just some dumb stuff happening, getting super drunk, drinking absinthe. So did you do any drugs when you were in Bahrain?
Drug? No, I don't.
I mean, I know the answer, but
Yeah, but I never did that in my life, other than one time in
Okay.
Bahrain.
So let's back up. Okay, so I don't remember a lot of this. So if you do, maybe you can recollect it. So I'm going to talk about the experience between us because the next night is when that happened.
The night, I, the night that I took drug.
So you and me hung out the night before, and then the next night you did drugs.
I don't even. Oh my god.
I remember because me and Josh were talking about it, and Josh was like, yeah, we'll get into that. So basically, like, I don't know, if you remember, like, I don't know where we were hanging out. We were doing a jam or something, and then it was like you, me, Elena, and Josh. And then we end up driving home, and this is what Josh tells me because I don't remember any of this. I don't remember this, but like apparently I was kissing your arm up and down.
That's the thing. I don't know because I was so drunk
We
that
were
night.
both super fucking
I
drunk.
don't remember much of it. I have parts, and I don't even know how it came down to this because I don't remember. Like, I remember 2 seconds in the taxi. I remember 2 seconds in the elevator. I remember 2 seconds in my room. I remember 2 seconds at the bar before we leave. I know at some point I was so drunk that I fell on the floor at the bar. I don't know if you remember that. But
I don't remember the bar. I don't remember the taxi drive. And then I remember the elevator doors opening. And then after, I remember stuff after that.
So I remember at the bar, I was extremely drunk at the point of not feeling kind of good, like not feeling well. So you just ran out to me like I was kind of taking care of me, like, are you okay? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, you want some water? I'm like, okay. I'm just like on the floor at the, how do you call it?
Bar?
The bar, the premiere.
Oh shit! I remember which one was that. The one like over by the Crown or something, or Premiere or something.
It's like a ninth floor.
Yeah. I remember you had to take the elevator.
Exactly, but
yeah, and it's like a nightclub looking place.
So I was on the floor of the bar there, and you just came to me with some water, and you're like, "Are you okay? Like, what's going on?" Like, I don't remember much. So I just remember we went to a taxi at some point, and we were in the taxi. I think Elena was in the front seat or whatever, and you were kissing my arm. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I'm too drunk to even remember that, like, what my feeling was about this. I just thought, like, what's going on here? Like, I just remember that. And at that point, it blanked. I just remember going in the elevator and taking your arm, blanked again, and you were in my room. So I was like, that's the only thing I remember from that night. And that's it.
I don't remember that. I don't remember the bar. I don't remember shaking you. I don't remember the taxi drive. I remember the elevator doors opening, me going in your room, and then me asking you a question. Like,
I think I explained myself for like 20 minutes in my room.
I don't know. I blacked out when I asked you, and then I woke up. Oh, not woke up, but like I came to my senses, and then I blacked out again, and then I came back to my senses, and then we were talking for a little bit, and then I left. And then I remember going to my room and then waking up.
That's it. I just remember writing. I think at some point also in my room I like went back to reality or of some sort or whatever. But I was just not. I was too drunk to like I don't know. I don't even know what
Yeah, to know what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't know what's going on. And the next day, I was feeling so not like, I don't know how to say this in English, but
Like remorse, like regret.
not remorse, but more like I don't know how to say this. It's called malaise, like uh, weird vibes.
Like anxious,
No, 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 but
anxiety, or
no, but more like it
like
was weird.
like goosebumps, goose pimples.
No, no, between me and you, we were like, oh, that was weird. Like it was not a good idea, you
Okay.
know? Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Like
You were
for
like,
me,
oh
it felt
shit.
like that. It was like it wasn't the same. We weren't the same like attitude, so we were kind of like, what the hell did I do? You know? So
Yeah, because
that's
we were both super drunk, and like as we can both see from recollecting the story, both of us don't really remember what happened
no,
until, and except for like the actual, like I remember like the actual act, like for a pretty long time, but also then blacking out and then like being like, because basically what happened was there was just oral, like I just performed oral, nothing happened with you, like to me, you know, and like it was very basic,
mm-hmm.
and
And
then
you
like
don't remember that we talked for 20 minutes, like maybe
before or
30.
after.
Uh,
I remember
between
talking
all of
after. I remember asking you a question before, and when I came to, you were already pretty much naked.
I don't remember how it happened. That's the thing. We're the wrong
Do you want
person
me to
to
tell you like what I remember exactly?
no.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, nah. But yeah, that's why I'm asking. But yeah, but then I remember like the next day, because you know, we, like you said, we were both kind of like, oh, like what just happened type thing, right? And
Yeah.
but I was more like, you seem, from what your perspective, you were more like, ah, what the fuck, right? And for me, I was like, it happened, but cool, whatever. Like, because to me, it's like,
You didn't seem that cool.
no.
You
Once I was, because seeing your reaction, and then it was just like, fuck. But no, I was cool with it at first in the morning. I'm gonna tell you how the day went, right? And then I went to Josh, and Josh was like, oh, hey Daniel, so how was last night? And I was like, pretty good, bro. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, have a taste of champ. And I was like, what? And apparently I had, well, when he closed the door was open a little bit.
Yeah, I heard that.
So then Josh and Elena followed us to your room and recorded the whole thing.
Yeah, but they probably know that we talked for like 25 minutes about me complaining of how we shouldn't do that, because I talked for 25 minutes about how we shouldn't do that.
And yet it happened.
Yeah.
But
It did.
anyways, but anyways, so that shit went down, and it, like from then on, like yeah, then it started getting a little weird and stuff. And then that night you went and you did drugs with your old band, and then that night, and then the next night I was thinking like, you weren't talking to me at all, but I didn't know you had done drugs, so you were like, you were feeling like
It
shit the
wasn't
whole
about
day.
it wasn't about you. At that point of the contract, first of all, I was like over it. I've been in Bahrain for almost a year now. I want to get the fuck out of here. So I was kind of over the gig because it wasn't doing much. At the end of the contract, there was nobody like in the club when we were playing and stuff.
Yeah,
So
we were all over it.
yeah, I just wanted to have like a break. I was like, okay, that's fucked up. So that night, um, I went out and I was with Julian, and we did a drug that somebody gave us at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even ask about what it was, how it was, or whatever, how what's gonna do to my body
Body,
or
yeah.
whatever. But he just told us technically it was kind of meth, but
Yeah.
after we took it.
Yeah.
So that's the fucked up thing, because I never did that in my life, and I'm never gonna do that also in my life other than this time. But the thing is, I was just kind of, if I had emotion in my heart and
Mm-hmm.
head
Mm-hmm.
in all time in my life, it all disappeared with that.
You had like
And
ego death.
yeah, kind of, because I was having fun for a couple, maybe 2 3 hours, and at some point it just went blank, and I couldn't feel much at all. Like I was just feeling like anxious, and like I didn't sleep at all. I remember that night, and I think I couldn't sleep through the day either. So I went to the show the next day after that, when we saw each other at, it was like 9, I think, when we
Yeah.
started the
Yeah.
show. So the last time I slept was at 1 a.m. 2 days before.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't sleep for more than 24 hours. And I was just like, I didn't have any emotion going through my
Yeah,
going
you
through
had
my,
ego death pretty much. Yeah, that's
I
interesting.
was
I didn't know
kind of
that.
feeling like so disconnected. And I remember I saw Josh, he came to me, was like, "Oh, you okay?" Like I was like, "Yeah, I didn't sleep for like 40 hours and I did meth last night." And he just didn't say anything, and he gave me a hug and he left. I was like, I can't, I don't know what to say. Like I was just so,
Out
and
of it. Yeah.
I feel like it affected me for a couple of days after too.
No,
Like
100% it did. 100%. Because I didn't, I think you told Josh you did meth a couple days after, because we were the day after that you did it. We were like, man, because I was just kind of like, oh, maybe things are chill with Emily because of what happened. But then you had that ego death, and I was just like, whoa, now she's like being really distant and stuff. And I'm like, did I fuck up that bad? Like, you know what I
it's,
mean? That, and I
it,
no, trust me, I know, like, hey, it's all good. Like, this is what happened. Even before you told me, I understand, but at the time, this is what was going through my head.
yeah.
And even Josh was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And that's why he went and talked to you, and they said, "Oh, she did crystal." And that's when I was like, "Oh, okay, like it's not me. Like she just feels like shit."
Yeah, but after a week, I was kind of feeling better. I think we had a good last week, right? Oh, not that bad.
No, that week where all that shit was going down was definitely the worst week. I remember Bahrain, there was like the last month is always the worst because everybody wants to go home.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
the second to last week or somewhere close to when we hooked up for that night and you did the Met, like that week or the week after something was like the worst week. Like everything
No,
was going bad.
because I know I left at some point.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. The week after was great because
Yeah, that's right.
it was like we had like some like
fun.
deep cleansing phase, I guess.
Yeah, that's the thing. I remember. It's not actually. It wasn't my best contract, like emotion wise. I think I was all like.
Yeah, you were figuring your shit out. Definitely
Yeah,
sounds that way. Now that I'm getting the full picture, it's definitely sounding that way.
yeah. Actually, after I thought about it, I was like, oh my god, these guys must think I'm some crazy person, because you guys seen all my extreme behavior of what I am as a person, but I'm not like this 90% of the time.
We
And
didn't think that of you.
but that's what I think.
Right, what you thought. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, oh my god, they saw the worst that
I
I could.
remember I remember Jay being like, "Oh my gosh, does Emily not like me? I want her to like me and be my friend." Like, it was more like that,
But
because
I
we were
wasn't
more
sure.
worried about you not liking us because you hung out with, which we understood. Like I said, we understood, hey, you want like community and you want to hang out with like people who speak your language, all that good stuff. But we were more like, oh, we hope she likes us because we want to be inviting. We don't want you to feel like bad. Like I remember one time I got super drunk and I was like kicking like the bottom of your leg, and I was so drunk I didn't remember. And then you told me like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to leave the stage and not sing anymore because you did. And then I apologized because I was like, hey, I feel bad because I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Yeah, this I was pissed. I remember because it happened once or twice before, to laugh because we were all drunk, and I don't know what you did, but I don't remember what you did with your arms or whatever while you were playing and I was dancing or whatever. But that night you were extremely drunk, and I think you did it like 10 times in the same set or
Right.
whatever. So
Right.
I was like, fuck, like leave me alone. Like I was pissed. But if I didn't feel good before already, maybe it's just why I was kind of uh I don't know, hangry.
Yeah.
Angry. Yeah.
But I think that's a good place to just end on a note, just kind of wanted to like clear over some stuff and just kind of get more of your perspective. But, I definitely, cause, you brought up some things about like body image when it came to your school and stuff like that. So that's something I definitely wanted to get into, but just because as a singer, there's a lot of that body image, even talking about like the singer that was the first singer we had in Bahrain, and it's like, hey, their body type, their thing wasn't, up to par or what we were looking for. But definitely want to get into all that stuff. Do you have anything else to add, Emily? Like,
I think I'm good. We talked
right.
a lot, right?
Yeah, we did. I think we did an hour and a half. But do you have anything to plug? Your Instagram, Facebook, anything like that? You have a website? Anything
I just have my Instagram. You can follow me at Emily D Vocalist.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's EMILIED and then Vocalist, all one word. All right. Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And this has been the DP podcast, double penetrating your skull through both ears with Emily. All right. Peace out, guys.